Welcome, everybody, to another podcast episode of Fantasy and Reality, where we let our imaginations take over and bring genres together and talk about how they can blend together to make the world a better place. Sure, that's what we do here. I am Shannon Malone-deBenedictis. I am a documentary filmmaker, workshop facilitator, public speaker, and a body image coach. And my co-host?
Hi, my name is Alora Dunn, and I write stuff.
She writes stuff. She writes amazing stuff. She writes this amazing book series, young adult book series called The Magic Locker. Everybody, you should read it. It's a lot of fun. It's really motivational. It's great. I'm going to do a shout out for you.
I need you at my table because often my pitch is like, I wrote a book, you should buy it. I'm just so bad at that.
Book,
It's a 30-minute
book.
conversation or nothing with me.
There you go. So today we're going to talk about cosplaying. Now,
Yay.
Alora is going to walk me through this because I'm going to start with a full confession. A full confession is that for many years, and I would say probably the first 50 years of my life, I didn't get it. I thought it was kind of silly and ridiculous and didn't understand why people were spending so much money to dress up in different things. But I have made a turnaround. And a lot of it is due to my dear friend Alora, who has shown me that it is much better than the kind of preconceptions that I have. And I say this, and I'm going to tell, then Alora can rip into me, is that these days I love seeing little kids running around, going to school in their Superman uniform or princess or tutus or doing whatever. And to sound like Walter Brennan, back in my day, there wasn't a chance my parents would let me do that. Not a chance. So I admit it's likely a cultural kind of way that I was brought up. That's probably contributing to it. So, Laura.
It was for me as well. And for me, I was that kid. I could not wait for Halloween. I would plan Halloween costumes all year. It is the only time it was socially appropriate to dress up. And I think, again, this is part of the self esteem. I got to be something else.
I think you're right. I think that's something, if it makes you feel better or makes you your true self. And I went this year, I was at the Atlanta Comic Con and was on several panels with Alora. It was my first Comic Con. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that it was my first Comic Con. And I was so moved. I was just elated seeing so many people of all ages just confident and happy and shining and bright. And I remember we were on one panel and I looked out and here was someone in a wheelchair and they had totally outfitted their whole wheelchair into, I can't remember what costume it was. And I think I turned to you, I was like, oh, did you see that? That was awesome. So what is it that makes us feel, why were you so excited? What makes it feel more confident or makes you feel kind of maybe invincible? What do you think?
I feel like this is an entire maybe 5 therapy sessions to get through.
We got 15 minutes. We got to conduct into 15 minutes.
Oh, so I think it's different for different people. It's just, I think it is back to wanting to be something different, or I always liked fantasy books and movies and Star Wars and stuff like that. So getting to wear those costumes, it's just an amazing feeling. And I put on I always say the prettiest I ever feel is in this dress. I made every stitch of this dress, and it's like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. It's on that, and it has this gorgeous hood and this shrug, and it's like it's ball gown style. It's got a bustle, and I'm so proud because I made it, and I feel so pretty in it, which sounds absolutely ridiculous. Everybody else is like, oh, my bridal dress, but I guess that just goes back to being different. As we say, let your freak flag fly.
Furry flag fly. Oh, that's a hard one. Furry flag fly. So I think it's not just a creative outlet for what you've created, but it's also maybe an opportunity to get out of your own skin or get out and express yourself in a different way. Have you seen that a lot at Comic-Con
It's sort of
or elsewhere?
it's sort of interesting because personally, and I think a lot of people would agree with this, is like I put on this costume and it's not that I get to be someone else, but sometimes I feel more myself.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, it is. It's like nobody. I'm at Dragon Con or
Hmm.
Conjurations Icon I have coming up, and all of a sudden everyone else around you is doing the same thing. It's kind of like going to art school.
Well,
I never had any friends. I never had any social life in high school. I came from a really small town with really conservative ideas, and I was the weird kid. And I got to art school, and every single person there was the weird kid. It's like that at Dragon Con. Everyone's the weird kid.
yeah, there is a thing about art school where it's all the outliers, all the Ali Sheedies from Breakfast Club before the stupid transformation all end up in the same place. Not a fan of that
I
film.
remember the first got asked out in Savannah, and I was like, "Are you tricking? Did your friends put you up to this?" Because
Yeah,
it didn't feel
yeah.
real at all.
And it was also what I love about art school is it counters so many preconceived notions people have in that I read somewhere if you ever need directions or you ever need help if you're feeling lost, ask the goth because they're the nicest person you're going to meet. Right? I agree with that. No, look,
Awesome.
sometimes that's not to cast that they're all fantastic, but the idea of art school tattoos or this or that, oh, stay away. And it's like, no, you really know everybody's really kind of cool and laid back and whatnot. I think I hear what you're saying about with the cosplay because I know I've had feelings where I put on an outfit, I put on a dress, or I put on shoes, and I walk differently. I present myself differently. I
Yeah.
feel differently. And I can see that when people are able to embrace this, their passion, things that bring them joy, things that bring them super just, I think what I like is I feel like they're allowing themselves to express their inner character.
Right.
They're allowing themselves to express, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a different analogy for it. It's,
Wonder what cape.
that's it. They're able to do that. And when that brings so much joy and power and I don't know, just what's a word for that? Just
Yeah.
kind of doing that. So, other than my ignorance and cultural indoctrination, what are some other misperceptions people have about the cosplay community?
So many. Really that you're kind of juvenile. And I guess I understand that. I
But
didn't address that to be honest.
I get it. I think that one of the things that I face this as a documentary filmmaker is that people assume that because I do wildlife films and I do history documentaries or whatever, that's all I watch in my spare time. That's all I consume. And as people have seen on this podcast, and I'm a huge fan of adult cartoons like Bob's Burgers, The Great North, The Simpsons, Futurama. I love them. They bring me enormous amounts of joy because it's not a documentary. It's something that just makes me feel great. So when I was at Comic Con and I saw someone dressed as Linda, I flipped out. I was like, it's Linda, look at that. It's great. So I think that when we put these labels on as being juvenile, I think that it's missing the point of some of the things. What were those elements that make those things fantastic and stick with you? It doesn't mean that just because you're an adult that you no longer should embrace really great things that maybe are targeted towards a younger audience. We've talked about Encanto before, me thinking it's
Right.
one of the best films made in the past 20 years. I watch Bluey. Bluey is targeted to toddlers and what's the age beyond toddlers?
Right.
Pre-K.
Right.
And it's one of the best family shows on. It's
It's kind of funny
absolutely
you say
fantastic.
that because I write YA fantasy and I'm tooling it down so middle schoolers can also read it. And it's really funny when people are like, I don't read YA and ugh. People have literally looked at my book and go, ugh. And first of all, that's not for you, and I'm kind of glad you're not reading it. You will not gain anything from it.
Yeah.
But Harry Potter's not in it.
No, I'm just finished.
The
Yeah, The
Hobbit.
Hobbit. I talk about The Hobbit. We can talk about what? I mean, Good Omens, not the author anymore, but Good Omens. We can talk about different types of
Yeah.
things, and those are fantastic. I just finished a book series. Of course, I've got my phone up because I want to look it up. It was recommended to me by a friend of mine who a tween son, and they're called Hazardous Tales. They're graphic novels. I ended up binging them over like a week. I read the entire 10-part collection because it was so fantastic. They were great, and you don't need to read a 1,000-page tome about World War One. Don't have the time to do that. Maybe it's something looking at different types of genres and different types of ways of presenting the information. So the of
Is one of my favorite shows.
oh, that's a great show.
Yeah.
That's
But
that's
like
absolutely fabulous.
personally to me, like I took to fiber arts in college, and so I'm always looking at costumes. And before I was really like alerted to cosplay in that scene, I still looked at it as like I would love to make that costume, or that must have been amazing to wear that costume on
Yeah,
set. So for me,
yeah,
it is definitely a creative outlet.
yeah,
And
yeah,
other people, they just, that character, they want to be it. They don't feel that they're creative. They buy a costume and they're creative in that they're showing who they are.
yeah,
Sort of one of those things. Probably don't have time to delve into this too much, but there's sort of two types of cosplayers. Those who want fame and fortune and everyone to look at them, and people who just want to be this character and are like fans of the show. So cosplay did get a little judgy there for a while. It's
yeah.
come, thank goodness, and we're reclaiming it. Um, it's a very common question is, can I bring a store-bought costume? And absolutely,
Yeah.
I lost a I've been in one cosplay contest. I made Firefly from Gotham. I made every single stitch of it. I made the pattern, I sewed the pattern, I made this entire like gas up like she had with the thing, goggles, the whole thing, and I lost to someone who was in a thing mask that was $25 on Amazon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was funny, and like there's people like that dress head to toe, and everyone compliments her costume, and it's something that I've like seen or whatnot. So like, yes,
Yeah.
you can, and most people won't know, and most people won't care because it's not.
I
It's about making that costume, and to other people, it's
yeah.
about wearing the costume, and both are
And I think
equally.
I add on there also is that when anything creative is like also end game. What's your kind of, and if like out and you're thinking like if I do X, Y, and Z, maybe I'll get recognized because James Gunn is hiding at Comic-Con and likes that outfit and goes, you're do the costumes for my next movie. Your motivation. It's kind of, I say that all the time as a filmmaker where I have someone who I got pitched in a bathroom like, it's a great show idea. Can I pitch you? This is back when I worked at a network. And I looked at the woman and said, Are you serious? Are you really doing this? And she was taking her shot. And I'm like, me about 90 seconds to touch up my makeup. Go for it. Let's see what you can do. Go for it.
Right.
That because, has grown. And so I could see someone saying, if I do A, X, Y, and Z, maybe I'll get recognized, happen. But
There's
I think that, yeah,
Yeah, that, and I mean, go like they have a reality show on cosplay, and like all of a sudden, like it like hardcore,
I can see that. Yeah.
yeah, like isn't good enough, or you're, didn't make on your costume, or it's about body type or what you look like.
Which
Yeah. So if
I
you want to be Batman, Batman, right?
I that again maybe the I'll cut this and
Okay.
make trim this or no, we'll just keep it real. I think that again, what's your end game?
Right. Right.
If you're end game and you're bullying someone because their costume is not a couple $1,000s and they haven't done this, and you're bullying someone who is there to have fun and express their love for a character, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's your problem, buddy.
That going away. Definitely away. So anybody watching this cosplay, you will be supported. There might be one person who is a jerk and we all hate that person. So something I
It,
did want to mention about body image though is
yeah.
every year they have the Spartans. So I've known two guys that did the Spartans, and
What
they
is the
dress up
Spartans? I
like
don't know
the
what the Spartans.
300. They dress up like the 300, so like barely any.
Okay.
They work
Okay.
year round, every single day, working out to do these costumes.
Yeah.
There's a group of older guys who cosplay as the retired Spartans.
Good.
They're usually older, they have all different body types, but they're still wearing the same costume. And to me, like that, like I rather look like I think that's way funnier and better than, but like this is more like a group, so I just humor behind it
I
so much.
think it's that I think that also as someone who's involved in filmmaking, I'm not, but I have a little bit of insight into some things, is that what you're seeing on the screen is not real. It's not real. You know, when he gets his body, when he's filming, it's because he's done a shocking amount of training. He's not eating enough calories. It is a temporary fix. And when he is not being Thor, he's more of a dad bod than you'd think. He's
Yeah.
infinitely more of a dad bod,
I think
right?
they did on one of the Thor movies, they did like he like on the couch just eating everything and he became like slobby. Like a year for overweight men. That was the
Yeah.
year for them. Yeah.
The other thing is like
Like, yeah. They did those costumes and yeah, it was
those costumes are padded. When you see those abs in the 300, do you know how much of that was spray paint? A lot of it was spray paint. Everybody, everybody, let's just be it. Well, it said the idea now of expressing your inner character. I love the idea of using cosplay and Comic Cons and these gatherings to know be you and what you want to be, even if it's for a brief period of time. It just gives you a chance to let your inner self shine, and I
yeah.
think it's fantastic now. So
Yeah, it's
I've
just like
completely
you're
come around.
definitely you're with your people, whether you can dress
Yeah,
up at the office or not. You're with your people, and there is no better feeling than when someone sees your costume and said, "Oh, I love that movie too," or "Oh, I
yeah,
love that show too."
yeah. The one outfit, the two movies I would try if I could, but I mean, I have to really,
Challenge
really
accepted.
figure accept is um, Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton, the dress she wore that had the cards in it, the one that Mia Wasikowska wore, was kind of afraid, and literally almost any outfit in Cruella, because Cruella, oh wow, that was fantastic. That
Oh,
was
I got some work to do.
amazing.
We do together.
There we go. Well, here we're at the end of yet another episode. Thank you, everybody. Again, Shannon Malone-deBenedictis. You can find me at Padlin Creative, also on social media, YouTube, everywhere. Make sure you click like and share with your friends, family, loved ones, anybody. Laura?
I'm Alora Dunn. I can be found at themagiclocker.com and make sure you are clicking to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss an episode.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. See you next time. Bye.